Welcome to the second part of simulation of market competition. In the first part, we discussed the more problem background. In this part, we are going to discuss the development of the model in AnyLogic. But before we begin, I just want to make a clarification that I made in my previous video. In the first part, it was about the limit of the agents that can be created in AnyLogic VLE. I mistakenly said 5,000 agents can be created, but in fact, AnyLogic allows 50,000 dynamically created agents. So apologies for the error. So coming back to this part, we are going to focus on AnyLogic model development, and we will basically focus on how the consumer population is set and how we can define different parameters to it. So the first thing is the disclaimer about the software and the material used for the preparation of these tutorials. So in our last video, we discussed about this conceptual model for a market competition in which the potential users move to want A or want B stage and then move to the user stage, and after some time they discard the product and they can always go back to the want A or B state. So this was discussed in detail, and we also discussed that most of the things will be done in this simulation tutorial, these things have been discussed in my 9-part series on ABM, but some will be new. And specifically, we discussed about the system dynamic library for which will be used for the stocks, and we also discussed that we are going to introduce 4 variables and 1 event, and this is the code that we are going to add in the action field of the event. So that was all about the model. So after this, we will do it in the AnyLogic. We move to the AnyLogic and we create a new model. So for making a model, what you have to do is you have to go to this icon and you have to create the model. So you can create the model by clicking this, and let's see, we can name it in, let's say, scenario_1, and then this is the days, and then you can press this button to browse, and you can make you can save the model anywhere you want. So let's say if I save it in this pictures, and then I select the folder and then finish. Okay, but I'm not going to do it because I have already created this model. So I go back to a model that I have already made for you. I've already set up the model. So once you name the model, you make it, you end up with an empty canvas, and for your convenience, I have already pasted these instructions in my AnyLogic model so that you can see as we move along the tutorial. So the first thing is the potential users. So we want to add a population. We'll go to the palette and we will go to the agent library, and from there we will drag an agent to the main canvas. When we do it, it asks us what we want to do. We want to create a population, so we will call it as consumer. Okay, and then we'll move to the next, and it will ask us about the graphics. We'll use 2D, and then it will ask us about the parameters. So we'll define the parameters here. So the first parameters, if you can see from the figure here, is the add effectiveness. So we will add this one, and we will call it as add effectiveness A. It's a double, and its value is like 0.015. So what does that mean? That means when a population of 5,000 agents come across, so 0.015 of these agents, they will be influenced by these advertisements. So we'll add another one. So I'll just copy add effectiveness A from here, and then I'll go to the second parameter and I'll name it add effectiveness B, because advertisements of A are supposed to be better than B, so the effectiveness of B will be a little bit less than the A, so we'll keep it at 0.008. Then the another parameter is, if you look at the diagram, then we have the adoption fraction. So adoption fraction of A, and it's a double, and it is uniformly distributed between 0.1 to 0.25. so there are two ways to do it. You can just type it as uniform 0.1 to 0.25, or you can simply we can do it like this, or we can just go here and click this icon. It opens up the distribution in AnyLogic, and from there you can choose the distribution what you want to set here. So what we want to set here is, we want to set here the uniform distribution. So we will select the okay, so it's not responding, I don't know. Okay, just give it a second. So okay, so we'll type here uniform, and uniform is here, and we will choose the maximum value is 0.1 to 0.25. so it's done. So this is adoption fraction A, and because adoption fraction B is also same, I'll just copy it, and when I'm defining adoption fraction B, I'll just copy paste there. So you might be wondering that if they are same, then why am I naming them differently? That's because in second scenario we have to use different adoption fractions, different word of mouths. So for that we are kind of making preparations for the second scenario as well. So add another module. This is adoption fraction, and I'll just copy the name from here and put it here. So this is adoption fraction B. Okay, now what else do we have? We have a discard time, so I'll call at discard underscore A. It's a double, and this value is 6 into 6 multiplied by week. Okay, and I'll just copy this name here, and I will make a new one, discard B, and this is also 6 into week. So I have now added the discard as well. Now okay, there is another thing, that is contract rate. So I'll add another one, because contract rate is same for both. So I will just make contract rate not A or B, and it's a double, and I'll keep its value as 1.2. So I hope I have added all the parameters, word of mouth. Okay, so there is another thing, that is give up waiting. So I'll add another one, and I'll call it as give up A. It's a double, and it is uniformly distributed between 0.3 to 0.8. So I'll type here as uniform, and then it is 0.3 to 0.8. So I'll press OK, and I can always copy it, because I also have to add give up. I can also copy the name and then go back and give up B. So I hope I have added all the parameters. So click next, and then the number of population. So I'll have 5,000 agents, and then I'll finish it. So now if I go to the project menu, then you can see that now in my okay, just let me save it as well first. In my main agent, there is there is a consumer diagram, there is a consumer agent appearing here. So I'll just double click it and I can move to the consumer diagram. Okay, now that we have defined all the parameters that we require for our consumer diagram, the next task is to develop a state chart in the consumer diagram. So in the next video, we are going to make a state chart based using the state chart library of the AnyLogic. So stay tuned for the next part. Thanks for watching.